Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Phee Smee show with me, Mainly Mark, and the namesake of the whole network, Phee Smee. How's everybody doing this morning? Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Phee, how's your Tuesday going?
Nickel and diamond, two lime rhyming, baby.
He's two lime a rhyming. You know, when sometimes life gives you lemon, you just got to take a lime and do some rhyming.
There you go, baby. There you go. What's life treating you, Mark?
Things been better, but I'm always positive.
You're always
I'm always
positive.
having a good time. I mean,
you show up with a good attitude every day.
Yeah, that's one of my.
That's half the battle, brother.
Yeah, they say that though, but it's like even people like when I go into the gas station. Oh, you're always so positive, always so happy, and then it's almost like the fog lifts from my eyes, and I'm thinking, oh, because I was doom, destruction, despair inside my brain, and it's like, oh yeah, I can't help that my natural disposition is
gloom, despair.
Well, no, I'm
and
on the outside.
agony
On the outside,
me.
I'm like, yeah,
Deep,
bring it.
dark depression, excessive misery.
Yeah.
If it weren't for bad luck, Mark would have no luck at all. Gloom, despair, and agony on faith. Again, folks, you just don't know what he's doing and how he's doing it. But let me just tell you something. He'll get it fixed.
No, you're talking, and it's not even affecting anything. It's from Twitter for some reason. Now we're rock and rolling. I don't know why. Tucker Carlson started talking at us. But we love that Tucker Carlson, regardless of his connections to Kabbalistic magic and his father's associations with the CIA.
Again, breaking news here on the Phee Smee Network.
We've talked about that several times.
I know.
He claims it's just a little red newspaper rubber band that his father gave when he's a child.
Yes.
I would argue, though, that how many rubber bands have you tried wearing on your wrist for years and years and years? They dry out, they break. If you zoom in on the pictures, it's a red string, man. It's a red string, which, it just wards off the evil eye. The evil eye being an ancient concept of, if I do this to Phee, that actually has an effect, on intention, which all that stuff's kind of real. People worship it, worship the created instead of the creator. But beside the point, I love Tucker.
Do you?
Yeah, I really like Tucker. Sometimes I think he might be controlled opposition like Alex Jones, which I like Alex Jones too. But he sure does. As soon as he left Fox News, he sure is telling the folks what he really thinks.
Well, he's got a great audience. His audience is growing every day. And, of course, when you have that time on Fox and draw that type of exposure, then you're going to have a following. And sooner or later, Phee Smee's Network's going to have a following.
Yeah, eventually we're going to have a following.
Yeah, if you'll change coffee cups anyway.
No, I think it's more like stop attacking people who control the world, and then we might have a following.
Well, that might be true. That's not Phee, but that is someone associated with me.
I can't help it, man. I can't help it. If I get killed for the truth, I'd rather get killed for the truth than get killed for something stupid.
Let's try not to get killed.
Well, I don't want to get killed at all, but if you gave, hey, do you want to die for something stupid? No. Hey, if you want to die for something true? Not really, but if I have to, I'd rather it be something true, personally.
Well, if you die for your Lord Jesus Christ, that's one thing. There's going to be a whole lot of them Christians and elect, and the saints do that in the last 3.5 years. Mm-hmm. But, our news today continues to just spiral out of control. Mm-hmm. With what do you think about our Chinese folks over there with Taiwan?
What about them? I haven't seen nothing in the news about it.
Well, they just keep acting like that they're going to...
China's going to invade?
Try to invade.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Now would be the time to do it, in a sense. I wouldn't do it right now if I was Xi Jinping, but if America starts sending their reserve of Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine, and if we get involved in Venezuela, you know what I'm saying? Well, then I might go ahead and say, hey, Taiwan, you're ours. Yeah, because it's kind of like...
spreading too thin.
Well, that's what the Nazis did. They had a two-front war, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not hating. But, well, no, I guess I am hating. But it makes more sense. I don't know. I'm not a general or a tactical man, strategy man, but hey, America's always been spread too thin. You know, all this crap in the Middle East, you know, always spread too thin. So, yeah, if I was China, I'm eyeballing Taiwan. They want those chip making places, which, again, if you really kind of read into it, it's like all these chips are made in one place, and very few people know how the chips are made or where they come from. And if you really get into it, it's like nobody knows where. Yeah, even like the microprocessing chips we use today. They claim there's a professor at a university, maybe Arizona, where a man in a black suit came in and said, "Hey, figure out how to make these." And they did. Where did the original come from? The implication being that a lot of this technology that we use and abuse just kind of came upon us.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when they say rare earth minerals, that's kind of a general, vague term that people don't
what does
really
that even mean?
understand.
What does it mean? Silicone?
But they are using those rare earth minerals in all of those microchip technologies.
Yeah, I mean, does that mean gold, silver, platinum? What's that? You know, what does that even refer to?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No one knows what rare earth minerals mean because they don't have any idea.
Or is that in reference to like nuclear bomb making material?
Well, possibility. That's plutonium
Mm-hmm.
and enriched uranium.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there you go. And you've got. I want to ask you: do you think Trump will send the Tomahawks to Zelensky in Ukraine, or do you think he'll keep them in as a reserve?
I think he's going to keep them. I think it's already.
Do you think it's because of Putin and his conversation?
Probably, maybe, but I think it's more of a why would we give up our strategic reserve of missiles when we know there's war coming down the pipeline? You know, as opposed to giving them to Zelensky, who's already losing the war and going to lose the war regardless. And so it's like, hey, we can prop up Zelensky in Ukraine, and we could probably make a pretty significant difference. But then that leaves us with nothing. And, you know, why would you do that? Screw Ukraine.
What do you think about President Trump saying that there will never be a World War III? Because I had a question like that last night.
I remember you asking. It was a lady from Oklahoma who asked that. Did Trump actually say that, though?
I mean, that's the quote.
Okay, well, I'm not doubting that.
If they misquoted him because, you know, forever is a long time. I thought it would make more sense if he would say World War III is not going to happen during my term.
Yeah, that makes more sense. And again, I hadn't seen nothing to the contrary, so I'm not doubting.
He would have nothing to do with forever.
Well, no, unless unless he's just really confident in his ability to be the Prince of Peace.
Well, he's settled several wars. He thinks he's going to settle some more. He's got good intentions, I hope and believe, but he's not going to get it done.
No, probably not. Yeah, if Trump said that, he's just blowing smoke because World War III is coming down the pipeline.
How about 7 million people in the streets for this No Kings protest? Do you believe it, or you think the numbers are inflated?
I don't know. I didn't give it much thought, but I would say inflated. But it's all a big joke. Who cares? Who cares?
Well, the 7 million in the streets obviously cared enough to spend their time.
It's Trump derangement syndrome. Like,
I know.
At what point is Trump called to be a king? You know, and I was even specifically reading about it this morning when I was looking for material for our show, how Trump uses, bear baiting tactics. So it's just like Trump will make these comments about maybe being a king, maybe not, or maybe his third reelection, because he knows that the left is going to flip out so much over it and make such fools about themselves that it's actually just making his supporters even more supporters of him. And so it's like, I mean, personally, I think America needs a king. Personally, I would prefer a monarchy over satanic democracy.
We don't live in a democracy.
Well,
we live in a constitutionalized republic, and they're going to figure that out when he has all the authority in the world.
I even think that's stupid.
Well, of course you do.
Because we don't even have...
But you like kings.
Well, no, I don't. I think they're all stupid and inbred. But that's beside the point. I think a monarchy is the most natural form of human hierarchy in the sense of who's the king of the universe and the king of the cosmos? God. Okay, well, as above, so below. It makes perfect natural sense to have a benevolent king rule over man. Jesus. But, I mean, I wouldn't hurt my feelings if there's a king. I think democracy, and America's a constitutional republic, even though there really doesn't seem to be, hey, we elect these people, to represent us, and 9 out of 10 times they go against their own constituents. So, oh yeah, cool, constitutional republic, democratic republic. No, it's just that's a lie shoved down our throats to keep us quiet because we believe we have representation in government, and we don't. It's that simple. To me,
hard to argue the point when all the politicians are getting rich
from the stocks. Yeah, so it's like, how does that represent our best interests? Well, they're getting this inside information and making that money. So then, when they retire from politics, that they spent their whole career being bought off from these lobbyists.
Boy, I've dealt with a lot of lobbyists in my earlier days, and talk about some criminals.
Yeah, and I almost wish I could be a politician, just so I could say, hey, screw you. I'm not taking your money, and I don't give a crap what you think. But then, that just means I'd never get elected.
That's true.
But
you know why you get elected? Just because the people put money behind you.
Yeah.
And then they build a campaign.
Well, like J.D. Vance was talking about some of his, I guess whenever he first started running from Congress or Senate, whatever he was doing, and how you'd have a name tag with a barcode on it, and it was a meet and greet for donors. And essentially, you would meet these donors for 2 or 3 minutes, and if they were impressed or liked you, then they would scan your barcode on your name tag to send you money. And it's like, disgusting. America's like, ooh, democracy. But it's like, just the whole idea of democracy, I think, is, in a sense, I don't want to say satanic, but Luciferian in a sense, because what's the whole motto of the Church of Satan? Do what thou wilt. Okay, do what thou wilt. Hey, do whatever you want. You don't have any, you don't have any gods. You don't have anyone in charge of you. Do what thou wilt. Think what thou wilt. Vote how thou wilt. Think about it. It's like the whole idea that, well, it's good and right for you to be able to think and do anything your heart desires is Luciferian in nature. But then we bludgeon the rest of the world. Oh, got to go to Korea because half of them want to be communist. God don't want you to be communist. Bonk. Oh, got to go to Vietnam because the North Vietnamese want to be communist. God don't want you to be communist. Bonk. Well, where did God ever concern himself with every single person in public having a voice that matters or a voice that decides things?
Certainly not in the Old Testament or the New Testament.
Well, they were ran by theocracy.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm not calling for an American theocracy. Or what's that, Jeffrey Daniels? Is that the guy, the pastor? I'm not calling him to be the king and priest of America. But just this whole idea, free will is inherently good because God gave us free will.
That's true.
But
we do screw it up a lot.
We do. And the whole, you come to America and be what you want and do what you want, absolute freedom. Absolute freedom is demonic in nature because it goes against the natural order that God set up. So, I'm not...
There you go, Manly Mark is preaching today,
baby. I am not pro-communist. I am not pro-fascism. I'm not I'm not anti-American ideals. That's not the point of what I'm trying to make, but it's just we've been lied to and we've been convinced that it's our God-given right to dictate how other nations govern themselves, even though we see from Scripture that God puts these leaders in power. Now, if they abuse that power, they have to answer to Him eventually. But the whole idea that we know what's best for everyone else, and it's God's will we go into Iraq. It's God's will we go into Vietnam. Probably not.
Living in America.
The land of Satan, man. America is the great Satan.
Oh,
America is the great Satan. No, think about it. What do we do in the name of democracy? We go to these Middle Eastern countries, we dispose their leaders, someone else worse comes in, but then we bring in feminism, we bring in abortions, we bring in homosexual rights under the name of democracy. You know, like our tax dollars pay for LGBTQ propaganda in other countries.
I know.
They pay for contraceptives and abortion in other countries. They pay
sex changes
in other countries.
Yeah.
So tell me, yeah, but again, it's like, yeah, you hear that, hey, America might actually be the great Satan. And you think, because I think that most people's idea of what America actually is fundamentally incorrect. We have this idea of America of being a God-loving country, a God-serving country. Well, that's because they want you to think that, because we're actually not. How many babies have died since abortion?
56 million.
Okay. Is that cool?
No.
Okay.
It's one of the most satanic things in the world.
American media, American culture, which is dominant in the world, promotes degeneracy, promotes drugs, promotes sex, promotes non-traditional families.
You live in a sinful world.
Yes,
and
we do.
We live in a sinful country.
Yeah, we are. We are, for all intents and purposes, Babylon. Now, are we the great mystery Babylon? Are we the great final Babylon? No. But Phil doesn't have an understanding of... Phee doesn't have an understanding of the amount of foreshadowing or the amount of archetypes that exist in the Bible, which I would say Antiochus, who was a ruler who came in, desecrated the temple, sacrificed a pig on the altar, forbid circumcision and observing the Torah in Israel and Jerusalem, and for all intents and purposes was the abomination of desolation. Now, some people say, well, that was the Antichrist, and that, the end times aren't going to happen. No, he was a type, a prefigurement of what's going to,
He was an antichrist.
Well, yeah, because there's lots.
The Antichrist.
No, but people get caught up on the whole idea that there have been prefigurements of these people and these systems for a long, long time. And so
I agree, and I think you're exactly right about me, because I spent my life, having a good time,
which I'm not hating,
smoking, as far as
I'm not hating,
dadgum coaching and selling. I mean, I just didn't spend a lot of time in my life studying all of these conspiracy theorists and stuff, and that's why God brought you into my life.
Well, yeah.
To be able to expose me to that culture, because I was naive in it.
Well, I mean, most people are, and it's not that I have some special wisdom or that I'm some special guy or that
No, but you've spent lots and lots of hours.
Well, and I spent lots of sleepless nights with all these seemingly contradictions to realize, like, for example, old earth or young earth. How many people base their faith in Christ on that argument alone? Probably a lot. But then you realize, well, the Bible wasn't written to specifically tell me how old the earth is. It wasn't written for that purpose. That just, bar none, people decide their faith in the Bible or in Christ based upon their arguments for old earth, young earth, the gap theory, this and that. And it's like, you're reading ancient apocryphal poetry that's just talking about things from this culture. Like they might have had ideas, or like how many people just read the Bible and say, well, the ancient cosmology of the Israelites was a flat earth with a dome, and there's a little window in which the angels would come through. If you read a flat earth from the Bible, it's because these were an ancient people who didn't even understand the real reality in which they lived. That's not a knock on them. It's they weren't writing these things to say the earth's 6,000 years old or the earth's 60 million billion years old. It's, hey, God created, God made Adam, put him in a garden, Jesus came. We read too much modern things into the Bible when it wasn't even written for these things. If that makes sense.
It does make sense.
It's my opinion, even though I think it's the truth.
It's definitely your opinion.
Cameron Collins, good morning, Manly.
What's up, Cameron?
Hey, he's listening. Oh, Cameron's listening. Did he text
Well, it's always good for Cameron to listen.
Yeah, I don't know if Cameron's always... I don't even know if Cameron's ever listened.
Hey, well, thank you, Cameron, for your first-time viewership. And we do appreciate all you guys. If you hit that like button, share it, and subscribe to the Phee Smee Network. We certainly would appreciate it. I can tell you this much. Manley is trying his best to figure out how to work the old chat, because last night it wasn't him up there. To now it's up there, so he's already taken care.
Well, it's just as simple as going to docs. You see this. I don't know why it was gone, but you just hit this button docs, and you click this chat, and then
then it appears.
Yeah. Hey, Cameron, thanks for tuning in. We're just talking trash,
Manley's talking about how he wants America to be under a king.
Yeah, I believe in a kingship of America. Now, if you'd let me be the king, it'd be a whole...
He wants to be the king. He's already told me what he wants to do is he wants to go over and be the chief of a tribe, and then he would...
Chief? No. Let me explain it.
Okay.
I mean, you're close. I want to go explore the Amazon, to these unexplored areas, find an uncontacted area or uncontacted people, and then be like, hey, look at my flashlight, or hey, look, bang, bang, bang. You saw that your most prized warrior just dropped dead like that? Worship me as a god. And then, they're going to marry me off to the chieftain's daughters, which by then, association, when he dies, I'll become the chieftain, but they'll worship me as a god with all my technology and all my cool belly hair. They're probably just, But the point is, then I will introduce them to my God, who is Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That's his long way of what we call witnessing.
Yes. Well, it's kind of like the North, I don't know, that Sentinelese Island, where, you know about that island, where they won't let anyone go, and it's just an island over by India, where
I do not.
They're uncontacted. And recently there was a guy, a missionary, who, because you're not allowed to go over there. Like, they'll arrest you, the authorities, because they want to preserve these people's groups, even though I just think carpet bomb the whole place, screw them. But a missionary went over there, and and with the Bible, it's just been a few years ago, and they shot him full of arrows and then buried him in the sand. But the thing is, I think the Rockefeller guy has the same idea.
Can't you imagine Manley going over there and getting just full of arrows?
Well, I wouldn't have made that mistake, because that's foolish. Think about it. What does a book mean to anybody who doesn't have books
or can't read?
It means nothing. So you're sitting there like this, guy, yeah. It's like, what's that idiot doing? Well, you got to go over there and you got to command that whole. I say command, but you got to use that Holy Spirit to make these people realize, hey, our shaman is weak. This man is strong.
You're going to do that by a flashlight or a pistol?
Well, I mean, both, but I just mean, because we are in the Baptist world, right? In a sense, in most...
You still are.
Well, yeah, but most Baptists would say, ooh, the gifts of the Holy Spirit, they did eat him, probably, yes. I know what you're talking about, Cameron. He said, I think the Rockefeller guy had the same idea. In the 60s or 70s, there was a son of one of the famous Rockefellers who went over to Papua New Guinea and was trying to contact, just hang out with these tribes. And they ended up, he went missing, dead, and they essentially ended up eating him. Even though, I will say...
That's what's going to happen to a Manley.
Well, but I will say, even though several years after that, other people took pictures of some of their war kayaks going by, and there was a pale-skinned man with very similar features to the Rockefeller guy, who, he's in a loincloth and, big beard and this and that. So it's like, some people speculate that he got eaten. Some people speculate that he just decided to live with them. Yes, I'm going to take the chief's wife, because he'd probably offer her as a gift to me. Because a lot of these Native cultures do that kind of thing.
I'm sure they do. Again, unaware. Fee's unaware.
Uncultured.
I knew that the Detroit Lions would cover the spread against Tampa Bay last night, my pick of the week.
I don't even know what a spread means.
24-9 final. Mark, on the other hand, he's talking about going over and taking the Chiefs' wife.
But let me ask you this, because people are always saying, oh, I got the Cowboys -3. I got the Slompy Dompies +24. So do you make money by guessing the actual score of the game, or saying they're going to lose by 3? Or how can you actually know that kind of stuff?
Okay, well, the spread is there's a favorite and an underdog. So you just don't say, hey, Arkansas is playing Ole Miss, so it's just whoever wins the game, you just bet on them. If Ole Miss is the better football team, then they would have a line. The line would mean that, let's say the line's 7. That means if Arkansas wins the game outright or loses by 6 or less, you would win if you had Arkansas plus the 7. Because remember, when the score is 0-0 at the beginning of the game, you're going to add that point spread to that score. Okay, so if it's a 7-point score and spread, and Ole Miss wins 26-20, and you have Arkansas plus 7,
then you've lost.
It's 27-26 Arkansas. I would win.
Okay, I see. Well, but
I'm going to add the plus, or
okay,
I'm going to minus if I'm. Go ahead.
Looking at these teams, how do you then make an informed decision on your line? You know, because I hear you all the time. You're like, "Oh, I got that one." It's like, well, how do you even have any concept of, hey, this team's going to do this or this team's going to do that? I mean, where do you get that? Are you just guessing?
No, I'm not guessing. But I can be wrong, but I have a what you would call a system of trends. I know football, basketball, and baseball well enough to be able to identify the strengths and weaknesses of the team. The problem you have is a lot of times with big spreads that you have no-nothing touchdowns, I can pretty much 8 out of 10 times tell you what should happen. But then you've got turnovers. You've got the all kinds of special teams, turnovers, things that really affect the game. And so, yeah, I know you don't like it, but it's very fun. Do you know that they had an article come out this weekend that sports betting is crushing young people's bank accounts?
I've been hearing that. I mean, people talk about all the time how they're just
losing an average of $3,000 a year.
I would rather just play slots.
Again, that's
the
weakest argument in the world because you have nothing but luck. It's just, hey, sit down at the right machine and wait. I've never played slots.
But I'd be doing the same thing if you said, hey, bet on the sports ball team. It's the same. I mean, I'm going into it just as blind as pulling that lever.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Well, I mean, I don't know nothing about that.
Let's say that you're educated in cross country. You know cross country runners. There's cross country runners. Okay, this guy runs. He's a late in the last 200 yards. He's sprinting. He can go by everybody. He's a closer.
Worst part of the whole race.
This guy's a rabbit. He comes out fast. You can handicap the race if you know the people.
Oh, sure.
Just like you can horses, just like you can dogs when they're illegal. But, now dog racing is illegal.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why?
I think because of the treatment of the greyhounds. PETA got involved. But when I was growing up, I grew up in a town that had the largest dog track in the United States.
I think cockfights should be legal.
Again, there's people that do all kinds of crazy things. I do not think that they ought to be dog fighting, and I don't think they ought to be cockfighting. I don't think they ought to be doing any of that. But with this MMA and this boxing and stuff, they just continue to, some things are good, some things are bad. Some things are taboo, and some things are in culture. So
yeah. Well, I tell you about that culture.
Yeah, culture shifts, doesn't it, buddy?
If you guys happen to watch Midday Madness with Manly Mark yesterday, you would notice that I went a little overboard.
He didn't last long.
On my indictments, I never do. On my indictments of certain cultures.
Oh, what kind of inserts you got for us today?
Okay, let's just go ahead and start hitting the news. First video we got is Trump and Zelensky apparently had a shouting match in the White House, and this is going to kind of touch upon that. Let's just take a listen. Turn off your mic, Phee.
Another world leader just stepped foot into the White House. The Australian Prime Minister is in town to cut some major deals. One problem? Someone in his entourage has TDS.
Have you had any concerns with this administration, with the stance on Palestine, climate change, or even things the ambassador said about you in the past, the Australian ambassador?
I don't know anything about him. I mean, if he said bad, then maybe he'll like to apologize. I really don't know. Did an ambassador say something bad about him? Don't tell me. I don't. Where is he? Is he still working for you?
Yeah.
You said bad?
Before I took this position, Mr. President.
I don't like you either. I don't, and I probably never will.
Once they got that out of the way, back to business. Trump cut an $8 billion rare earth deal down under. That means bye-bye, China.
In about a year from now, we'll have so much critical mineral and rare earths that you won't know what to do with them. They'll be worth about $2.
Trump's juggling a few balls here. He's peeling us away from China, keeping the Mideast peace, holding, and ending war in Europe. Being king ain't easy.
Why don't you just enable Ukraine to finish this war tomorrow?
Well, if you knew anything about what you were talking about, you'd be able. You do. I don't think you do, really. I don't think you do because it's a little more complicated than that. But it sounds easy. We're in the process of trying to make a deal. If we make a deal, that's great. If we don't make a deal, it'll be a lot of people are going to be paying a big price.
Zelensky was in the Oval last week. Reports say he got into a little bit of a shouting match with Trump. Trump warned Z that Russia would destroy him if he didn't freeze the front lines. And Zelensky left D.C. with no tomahawks. Trump's keeping those in his back pocket. If Putin plays games, Trump always has the option to sell them. We're looking at a global chess match right now. It's not just Russia Trump has to worry about. There's a lot of action in Latin America. Trump just bombed a Colombian coke boat. And he's not just doing it for the drugs. Sure, that's a part of it, but there are bigger things at play. Just like Venezuela, Colombia's cozying up with China. They joined the Belt and Road Initiative this year. That's no bueno. Now Trump's hitting them where it hurts.
They are a drug manufacturing machine, Colombia, and we're not going to be part of it. So we're going to drop all money that we're giving to them. And you look at the fields are loaded up with drugs, and they refine the drugs, and they make tremendous amounts of cocaine, and they send it all over the world, and they destroy families.
Colombia is talking tough for now. Soon they'll be like Venezuela, shaken like a dog. Maduro's panicking about a gringo invasion. His people are switching phones, changing beds, hiring new bodyguards. Maduro's worried about regime change. Trump focused on regime collapse. Venezuela has oil, gold, and minerals. This is the Monroe Doctrine 2.0, the Dunroe Doctrine. And China and Russia, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Well, what do you think about all that, Phee?
I think it's right down the tubes.
Yeah, like screw Zelensky and screw Ukraine. You know, like Zelensky. Kind of a weird last name, isn't it?
It's got that ski to it.
Yes. But
you don't like those skis.
No, I don't. But if it wasn't for American support, this war would already be over. So, America.
That's because Europe is weak.
Well, Europe has always been weak.
They don't know.
After World War II, anyways.
I totally agree with you. As far as Zelensky and Putin are concerned, they're both playing our president.
Yeah.
And our president is playing them. Mm-hmm. And before it's over with, that war is going to escalate, just like Poland's got problems with Putin today. So if Poland gets involved, the UK, Germany's already got the Leopard tanks there. Mm-hmm. They're fighting Europe and NATO, and people just aren't talking about it.
No, but I'm down on Ukraine because I tell you, those Bidens were heavily invested and involved in Ukraine.
What people don't know about Ukraine is they are a biological warfare manufacturing country.
Yes.
That is very dangerous.
Yes, I mean, and in part, this invasion probably is part of, hey, you're doing all these warfare experiments really close to our country, and we don't like that. Well, they're doing that on purpose. Ukraine is a hotspot for embezzlement and money laundering from Western politicians, the Bidens, the Obamas. They're just cleaning their money through Ukraine.
How does a comedian end up running Ukraine?
Same way that a TV personality ends up running America.
Yeah, that's breaking news. You're fired.
I'm just saying. I mean, as far as competency goes, I think Donald Trump is leaps and bounds far more competent than Zelensky.
He's anointed by our Lord. I'm telling you what, there's no question about that.
Anointed as the Antichrist or anointed as the Jewish Messiah? We have yet to determine.
I've already determined. As the wings of the great eagle carry the woman with the 12 stars out into the wilderness for times.
Welcome back to Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Cartoon Network.
He's just a non-believer in a lot of Fee's visions, and that's why I like him.
I don't.
He's going to continue to be wrong.
But why does that equate to me doubting your vision?
Because the United States stands with Israel in the last 3.5 years, and the United States wins World War III with the Sixth Trumpet War with Europe on the same team that we'll be fighting against in the last 3.5 years. Isn't that crazy? A lot of things got to happen in a short amount of time.
Yeah, I guess, but I think the whole Wings of the Eagles just has to be America is the silliest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
But can you imagine Daniel 2,500 years before? 600 BC on 7/4.
No, I just think that's a coincidence, and I don't believe it.
It's a coincidence to you, but it's the real deal to me.
Well, I'm happy for you. Now, but that does not mean that I don't think America is going to their detriment, stand with Israel.
They will.
That doesn't mean, well, I know, because America is bought and owned by Israel.
Okay.
But I just...
in God's plan. So Israel might be terrible, and Israel might be ushering in the dadgum Messiah, or the second coming. They might be doing all of those things, and we're liable to be right involved, but it's all going to end up with my Lord Jesus Christ coming back at the Battle of Armageddon and winning. I want to be on that side.
Yeah, but do you think I'm sitting here thinking, hope Jesus don't win?
No.
But I think
that you know that Jesus wins, but you don't like the fact that Israel is using the United States, and have been using, and we are their puppets for many, many years.
Yeah, well, that's true, but I think that picking side A or B is bad. Is a deception, yeah.
But again, Phee says pick a side. There's two sides. There's two teams playing. God's team, Satan's team. And there's a whole lot of traitors on both sides.
Man, to me, that's dangerous.
Yes.
Because you're saying you have to join America and Israel, or you're not on God's team.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that my Lord Jesus Christ, when the Battle of Armageddon wins, I want to be a child of God. If you don't support Israel, because they are the synagogue of Satan, 80% of them say, there's a remnant over there that my Lord loves, and He loves Jerusalem, and I'm just going to tell you right now, He's going to protect Jerusalem in that last 3.5 years. And when those witnesses are out there doing all kinds of plagues and everything else, turning water into blood, shutting off the rain, and they finally kill them, and they lay in the streets 3.5 days, you can start the countdown right there, because the very next verse is the seventh trumpet. So you will know when those witnesses, they finally are dead, and they lay in the streets for 3.5 days, and folks are celebrating like it's Christmas and giving gifts.
Yeah.
And when they stand up and ascend, the rapture is at hand.
Yeah, but most people believe they won't even be here for the two witnesses. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, well, 60% of the church believes that. But that's okay, because as these events continue to happen, they're going to have to ask themselves, why am I still here?
Mm-hmm. They're either going to double down.
Well, some of them will, because
double down
they've been selling books, and they've been
double down and say, these aren't the two witnesses. This isn't the real third temple. This isn't the, they're either going to do that. Yeah, they're either going to do that, or they're going to be like, oh, so my family, who's a part of a denomination that started in Oklahoma and Arkansas, where the matriarch of my family came from, who has been heavily influenced by Schofield, I guess we were wrong.
You think they're going to do that? At some point,
I don't actually know.
At some point, they will jump. If they're children of God, of course they'll do it. But they're going to fight it.
Well, but
there's going to be a huge opposition about it.
Well, but I think that therein leads to a part of the great falling away is that how many people's faith are based actually in mommy and daddy as opposed to Christ. In that, if my mommy and daddy aren't right, then none of it's true. If my interpretation of the end times aren't right, then none of it's true. I think a lot of people are going to, just like, I think
80% of them probably are like that.
Heaven forbid, just bear with me, heaven forbid, but if something happened tomorrow that was completely opposed to what you saw in your vision, would you then say, oh, well, Christ is a false God because my vision was wrong?
No.
You know what I'm saying? No. I'm not suggesting your vision.
I get it.
But
hey, there's a whole lot of folks out there suggest a lot of things about my vision, and I get that. It doesn't bother me.
But if you in your heart thought, man, I might have been wrong, are you going to go ahead and throw it all away?
No.
Or just, but I mean,
I'm going to the ends of the earth, down the tube, whatever has to happen. I will not change because my Lord gave me that vision for me to have the understanding to coach people that didn't have the vision. And that sounds strange to people.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm certainly not worthy of it.
Oh, sure.
Didn't live a life of it. But I am now. I'm doing the best I can now with it. And I don't care if folks say, well, he's crazy, because sooner or later, how many things have I said that's already taken place? I mean, you're going to have to look and see. Sooner or later, they're going to say, well, man, everything he says keeps coming true.
Well, when are you going to prophesy about me being a millionaire, man?
Okay, well, again.
Go ahead, speak of one.
You hang out with Phee long enough, and you won't have any problem. You're not going to ever be money motivated. That's not you.
No.
You're not. Let me tell you something, folks. If you don't know this man right here, he is as kind and loving. He wouldn't close anybody. He's not trying to take advantage of anybody. It would be one of the worst salesmen in the world when it comes to a one-time close. He would be a great salesman of developing relationships like pharmaceutical sales reps, where he can go in and talk, because everyone loves Mark when he's got a great personality, and he certainly can go in there and make people like him. Now, as long as he doesn't have to ask for the money, which he's scared to do.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, hey, anybody out there, give me a pharmaceutical sales job.
There you go. You would be very good at any job where you just developed relationships and they, bought your product.
Yeah. Joe just told me about a rabbi video. Which rabbi video do you think he's talking about, Phee?
I don't have any familiarity with Joe and his conversation with Cameron, so I'll just stay out of that and let y'all visit and have your inside joke.
Oh, it's not an inside joke. It's talking about the rabbi video I showed yesterday on.
I know exactly. I tried my best to get it out to where we could just move on, but no, you just kept on, didn't you?
I mean, it's still the truth. It's still the truth. It's just some questionable practices that come from the Talmud within certain communities.
If you really want to find a way to hate a portion of the Jews, just read the Talmud. I mean,
again, and I say often, I'm not making this about the Jews. We have a misunderstanding that most Jews are the same as the Old Testament Jews we read about, when most of them
are not.
They're rabbinic and Talmudic Jews.
I know.
And
again, thank you, Lord, for bringing me Mark, because it's the same thing with the denominations in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
There's just as many groups over there as you have over here.
Yes, but what's sad is we have more animosity. I told you this today. We have more animosity against other denominations who proclaim Christ as the Lord, as opposed to a whole separate religion that rejects our Lord. More people view the Jews favorably as opposed to this church down the road that just...
Baptist Pentecostals.
Yeah, Baptist Pentecostals, Church of Christ. We hate Church of Christ more than we hate these people who just outright reject our God. What does that tell you?
The Church of Christ, the Baptists, and the Pentecostals will have to come out of that religion, or they're going to have some real problems, because they're not all right.
No, that's right. But okay, let's hear it. Cameron, I can't play it because it is a little graphic, and essentially it's just a practice of circumcision and what that specific rabbi does with his mouth to remove the blood. I'll send it to you later, my friend. And what about the most recent Charlie Kirk news? I haven't seen anything recent other than it appears that Candace Owens is defying a gag order, because I don't know if you saw, there was a judge in Utah who put a gag order, I don't know if it's on like 3,000 or 30,000 people, a gag order on the social media, the press, family members, a whole lot of people, eyewitnesses.
Were we included in that gag order?
No, I don't think so.
Good.
I don't think so. But it's like
I didn't get any notification.
Because there are eyewitnesses to the event who are saying, oh, more than one shot, more than one shooter, more than one shooter location. And so
that's going to fall apart, folks.
Well, but the whole, even Alex Jones said, put out a video of him saying weeks ago, saying, hey, if they put a gag order or if they try to shut down these investigations or these questions about Charlie Kirk, that's only going to prove that there's something wild going on or something weird. And it's like, yeah,
They just expect the Americans to move on after a certain amount of time because they're flooded with information.
Well, but the people, yes, it's a 24-hour news cycle, and hey, you hear this today, you forget about what you hear yesterday. Not Manly Mark.
Not Manly Mark.
But Candace Owens, she's trying to blow the lid wide open. I mean, I haven't spent too much delving into it because my mind's already made up. It wasn't a tranny-adjacent teenager or young adult who shot Charlie Kirk. It's just, hey, there's a bunch of trans shooters going on right now. Let's just have a patsy. A patsy to attach this to that.
Sure.
When in reality, it was probably a foreign...
Deception is everywhere.
Well, yeah. I mean, Jack Ruby,
Exactly.
What was his real name? Jack Rubenstein.
There you go again.
Which, I mean, again, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm not anti-Jew. I'm just anti-lie.
You don't like you do enjoy the truth, and you certainly try to unfold and get to the truth. Many, many layers do you go through to get to the truth.
And you got to get through
when you finally get to the truth, you just move on to the next truth.
Well, yeah, you just got to get through a whole lot of Semitic layers while you're finding the truth. But it's like I said yesterday to Jerry. A lot of these evil and detestable people wear the mask of Jew, wear the mask of Republican Democrat, wear the mask of Protestant, wear the mask of Catholicism. But the higher up in these organizations or religions that you go, the more they all act the same. They all have the same weird obsession with children's blood, with sex with children, with weird rituals and symbology. So I don't know what that says other than you have a group of people who are probably just Luciferian, sick, but Luciferian in nature, who put the mask of all these other things on just so they can fool and deceive and continue. And I don't know if it's that these, well...
I mean, that's just demonic.
Well, it's almost like perverts and predators just flock to positions of power and influence because they know they can get away with it. Even within student organizations like the Future Farmers America, which it's now known as just the National FFA organization, chock full of predators and perverts. Like one of my mentors that I had in high school, who was at one point the state FFA advisor, turned out to be a degenerate and a pedophile. Sent me pictures of his pee-pee. And then you get to talking around to other people you knew in high school. Hey, sent pictures of his pee-pee to a whole lot of people. And you know what's sad? It wasn't until it was one of the sons of an ag teacher that you had a bunch of these ag teachers demand for his removal. And then he finally was ousted. Oh, but only ousted in the fact that he lost his state job and now he's teaching at a local high school around children. And so it's like, oh, your big punishment on this guy. You've essentially condemned him to being around or having less eyes on him in a local high school. And not only that, we had made friends with people from other states. An ag teacher from another state that my brother knew. Always wanted to see pictures of my brother after his workouts. Heck, even the national, I'm not going to go that far, but it's organizations like that are chock full of predators and perverts. Why is it? I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just the access that it gives to these children.
Well, they have an agenda. If I want to be around lots of children, the law of large numbers says I need to get into something that. I mean, I'm surprised they're not at the preschool workers.
Well, and thankfully I was
nursery workers.
Thankfully, I was always too naive to ever get gotten or really be affected. Other than it's just, hey, why is this guy who used to be a mentor sending me pictures of his pee-pee? That's gross and weird. I'm just going to ignore him for the rest of my life. But then I think back to comments he'd say, or questions he'd ask me.
There is no reason in the world, in any situation, that a teacher should be sending inappropriate pictures of his private parts to the students.
Well, and what's funny is
the first time that happens, I'd have figured he'd been fired.
Well, but what's funny is, I think this goes to a larger point because he was outwardly a Christian. Like outwardly proclaimed Christ, but then
that's deception.
No, yeah. But the point is, he was taking the Lord's name in vain, And then after this, he had a car wreck that disabled him. And the thing is, it's like, I think it's one thing to be like, man, I'm a Christian, but I struggle with this crap. And then it's a whole other thing to be, it's taking the Lord's name in vain. It's not saying GD or saying curse you, God. It's the word, in the Hebrew is lifting up, proclaiming the name of Christ. You're taking that name of Christ and you're running with it in vain because you are a detestable, degenerate person. I know that taking the Lord's name in vain is not a cuss word. I still wouldn't say, damn you, being who gives me every breath in my lung. That would still be unwise. But it's taking the Lord's name in vain is attaching your name to the Lord and not living, or trying to deceive people about your real motivations. And I think the Lord punishes that a lot more severely.
He certainly punishes all the Jewish folks that end up swapping land for peace. I can tell you that much.
We'll see if that happens, only because I think that...
I think Netanyahu's going to resign before that happens.
Maybe. I just really... the more I go on, the more I just think that they slapped the name of Israel onto a government, and that it really just... It's all about deception. I don't know that I even believe that today's Israel has anything to do with biblical Israel. But...
It might not.
But we'll find out. I'm not saying that for sure.
You do realize that it might not have anything to do with the people that are over there. It might have more to do with the land and the city of Jerusalem.
Oh yeah.
And those are very important places to my Lord.
But even I almost think the whole Third Temple thing is a whole deception.
Well, they're going to build it.
Well, they're going to build it, but
because the Antichrist is going to stand in it.
Well, yeah.
And they're going to be doing daily sacrifices. What do you think Peter's going to do about that? What do you think about all this outcry will come about them showing videos of folks every day killing animals?
Well, they already have those videos like that. It's like during certain Jewish holidays. Have you ever seen the videos of these Jews swinging the chickens around?
I have not.
Well, I'm serious. It happens in New York. I'm serious. It's like this is very common.
Again,
they believe that you can put upon your sins onto this animal. Like a chicken. You put all the sins for the year onto this chicken, and then you kill the chicken, and your sins are absolved.
Man, it sounds a whole lot like voodoo and witchcraft.
Well, it's a loophole to trick God.
So it's tough to do that. That's like the Mormons with their dadgum soaking. It's difficult to fool God.
The sexual act is not the penetration. The sexual act is the movement.
Okay.
So therefore,
you're fooling God. Trust me, folks, I do not think you're ever going to be able to fool God.
No.
So I wouldn't recommend it.
Nope.
Just basically say, I'm a sinful man. I fail. I live in a sinful world. I'm around a sinful environment.
I should have found this video. There's Pop, I talked about him yesterday, but the episode's down. But Rabbi Shmuley, whose daughter owns a sex toy store, and he promotes it heavily, and he often talks about whatever Jewish holiday where they try to repent for their sins. And he's like, we have repented for our minor sins, but now we're waiting on God to repent from his sins. And it's just like, man, oh man.
Again,
that is
would it surprise you if just a lightning bolt came down and disintegrated him? That doesn't happen, does it?
Nope.
But the car wrecks that disable them seems to happen, doesn't it?
Well.
You got any more inserts?
We've got. Well, I've only showed one insert, but talking about America standing with Israel to the end, and it being to our detriment. Trump is the most Zionist president of America. So it's just a video that kind of talks about it.
Donald Trump might be the most Zionist president of the United States in history, but he might be the last one. Because Israel is going to be permanently controversialized now. It's the most criminal regime in the world, and they are a dead letter, name is mud on the left, and more on the right all the time. It's something like 50-50 on the right now. People are sick and tired of being lied to and condescended to and used and abused in this way. For all the people listening to this or watching this, I think Benjamin Netanyahu respects you. And this is a guy who has said on multiple occasions, in fact, on September 11th, he told the New York Times,
good for Israel.
This is very good.
The point this video makes is that Donald Trump is probably Jewish himself.
Well, his daughter is.
Daughter, his son-in-law. But the point that makes to me is that you see a very, very large movement of shifting narratives about Israel. And, to me, as I say often, it's not about going against Israel. It's not about persecuting the Jews. It's about aligning yourself with the system of the beast that's going to rise up in response to the wicked and evil Israel. Okay. And so all of the world's waking up to the atrocities and the lies that Israel has perpetrated.
The whole world's going to be against Israel.
Yes, we know that. And I'm not saying I'm their biggest fan, but I identify that if these are truly the end times we're living in, then they want, again, I say often, they want us to join the rising beast system that will come to stamp out this problem, or they want us on the side of apostate Israel that's both, again, they're both highways to hell. Both dishonor Christ. Both.
You're going to be singing AC/DC now?
No, I think AC/DC is a terrible, terrible band. I do not like any of their songs. I think terrible singers. I don't like, AC/DC trash. Now, Jerry, if you love AC/DC, I'm sorry.
I thought it was interesting that 2 of Kiss's members were Jewish.
Gene Simmons. But
go ahead and go back to your...
Well, the point I'm making is America standing with Israel to the end, how does that honor Christ or follow Christ's commandments? Joining along with some end times anti-Christ system that will stamp this out, how does this honor Christ or continue his commandments? That's the point. Neither do. Neither of them do. We'll be so wrapped up in, we got to defend Israel. America's going to stand with Israel to the end. Yeah. It's going to happen. You saw it. We know that's going to happen. But is it good? Or, yeah, Israel's been ruining the world for the last 2,000 years. Let's come on, guy from Turkey, guy from England, guy from wherever. Let's put an end to this now. Both are counterintuitive to the gospel. I think that's the point. We're so emotionally invested, so propagandized, that we believe you have to pick one or the other, but both are
leading to the same highway to destruction.
Yeah, that's what I believe.
So here's the question for Manly Mark. What do you do?
Well, what do I say often? Follow the commandments of Christ. What does that mean in this context? I can't answer because I don't know. I mean, it's not happened yet, so I don't know what to do in the meantime, or what options you're even going to have when that time comes, because I didn't have a vision. I can't predict the future.
You're going to have the United Nations controlling with a one world government.
Yeah, you join in on that. You join in on that, bad.
And you take that mark.
Bad.
Okay, you do know that the first dadgum vial is, and I'm telling you, it's rough.
Bad.
Those folks are begging to die.
Well, I don't want to do that. But at the same time, following a false sense of Judeo-Christian values has led to moral decay and degeneracy in America. So, like the mainstream American thought or American ethos that we push on the whole world, it's just as degenerate or just as bad.
I don't think, Mark, that you realize that there's not a whole lot of folks out there in the United States even supporting Israel.
No, I know. I know that.
I
know that.
I don't think that you've got a whole lot of folks, jumping on Israel's bandwagon.
People in your generation, are the majority.
They are cemented in the fact that they were mentally conditioned from their pastors and their churches for years and years and years.
Yeah, this whole Schofield Darby thing's been in the works for
200 years.
Yeah, for this specific reason, because think about the people who think it's their moral obligation to protect the nation of Israel, to protect the Jewish people. I'm not saying it's inherently
Lindsey
bad.
Graham sure acts like that, but he didn't know anything about the dadgum, and the Ted Cruz didn't know anything about.
No, they just. But those people are supporting bad things.
Well,
Lindsey Graham is.
You would like to say that they're supporting their constituents, but you would know that, like you've already said, they're just in it for them.
Oh yeah, I think Ted Cruz might just be more of an idiot than Lindsey Graham, in the sense of he's more of an innocent idiot. well, my Sunday school teacher just told me, so I'm going to believe it. But Lindsey Graham's a homosexual, and he just wants the money.
Allegedly.
Yeah, well, allegedly, I mean.
We have to learn how to say allegedly here. And we don't like to say allegedly, but we're learning to say allegedly.
Well, I mean, I think.
Allegedly.
I don't know, man. If you just listen to the man talk, look at him, he's sucking the pee-pee of the Raytheon, man. I mean, he's calling for war with Iran and all these other Middle East countries specifically because he wants that money. He wants that military-industrial complex money. That is very obvious.
I don't doubt that at all. Matter of fact, I would totally agree with you.
Well, and like Lindsey Graham, sue me. What are you going to take? The only thing that I actually have ownership of in my life is my truck that has 258,000 miles, really bad brakes, and I've needed 4 new tires for over a year. So Lindsey Graham, if you want to come take my truck, okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Lindsey, for not taking his truck. He needs a way to get over here. What kind of insert you got next?
Okay, Ben Shapiro trying to take over Turning Point USA.
Well,
that's going
to be a very, very strange transition.
But the point I'm making is he is specifically talking about how he wants to get people to turn to Christ. He wants to get more people in church because that's a good thing. But this is what Ben Shapiro actually thinks. And is this somebody who you want to take moral direction from, intellectual direction,
for your young people?
For you young people, or when you hear the term Judeo-Christian values, this is what Ben Shapiro has in mind, or this is what's where he's basing his thoughts on.
From a Jewish point of view, where we don't believe in the divinity of Christ, I think that there you can make an argument that the Gospels, which were written,
he was just a prophet, and
significant. No, we don't even believe he was a prophet.
What do you think he was? What do you guys think he was?
What do I think he was historically? I think he was a Jew who tried to lead a revolt against the Romans and got killed for his trouble, just like a lot of other Jews at that time who were crucified for trying to lead revolts against the Roman and got killed for their trouble.
So he became legend in story, and it became a bigger and bigger deal as time went on.
Yeah, he had a group of followers, and then that gradually grew, and then
do you think he was resurrected?
No, that's not a Jewish belief.
Okay, I just want to check.
Yeah, no, we're not into
we're
not into miracle stories. No, that's
no?
Not. No.
You don't have any miracles?
No, not by Jesus. Right?
No?
They're ones in the Old
God
Testament.
Ones?
Like I can't join a church. I assume I don't believe the things that people in the church believe.
You probably could if you donate. You got to give the right amount of money.
Well, I don't believe in the Jesus, so there's that. There's
the
that
Jesus.
Part. Yeah, that's not my thing, right? I mean, so that's.
He also says in the interview that Jesus was a bad guy. And it's like, this is the guy that wants to mold and shape the minds of the American youth. And it's like...
That's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing.
Well, but what's embarrassing also is there are people in his organization or his company that, like Andrew Clavin, who specifically say Ben Shapiro doesn't have to accept Christ because he's doing good enough as a Jew. Some dispensationalists go so far as to say that the entire Jewish people are under a completely different dispensation, in the sense that if they just live as good Jews, then they don't have to accept Christ.
Okay. They're going to go to hell.
Well, yeah.
Okay, and only a remnant of them are going to be saved.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. But that Shapiro that's taking over for Charlie Kirk at Turning Point. If they actually hire that dude to do that, with what he just got through saying, then again that whole organization's corrupt.
Yeah, I think it has been for a long time because it's to push the idea that Christianity and Judaism is Judeo-Christian. Well, Judeo thought's based upon the Talmud. That's not Christian.
I would recommend you read the Talmud, folks. I mean, it's like it is absolutely
35 volumes.
You can get some excerpts.
Oh yeah.
And that is really, really rough. Really, really rough.
Well, and a lot of people are tired of hearing about Israel. They're tired of people talking about Israel.
That's Israel fatigue. It's going to get worse.
Well, and a lot of people have Israel fatigue, and people think, if you think I beat the dead horse, I mean, again, it's not that I'm inherently anti. It's just, hey, wake up. wake up to the truth. But even
you love Jesus, you love God, and you know they rejected him, and the United States have been their lapdog for so many years that it upsets you.
Oh yeah,
and that is the truth.
Yeah.
So,
but even people like Alex Jones are sick of it, and so I just got this little Alex Jones clip because I thought it was kind of funny.
Okay.
But even Alex Jones, who just a few weeks ago came out on air sporting a Hitler stash, which he looked very handsome, by the way, with. But I just thought this was funny because people accuse Alex Jones of being an Israel shill, or they accuse him of being anti-Semitic. And I will say, though, in a lot of his younger days on air, he went out a whole lot stronger about Israel than he does today. So take that with a grain of salt. But here's Alex Jones on Israel.
Man, I'd like to get one call a year about the trade deficit with China. That'd be just one a year, maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe one a month about Ukraine, or how the UK is trying to censor over here in the US and all that. I mean, this is big stuff too. All I'm saying is there's other things. Because every time I post something on X or anything about China, it's like, why are you covering up for the Jews? It's retarded. I'm covering everything, sweetheart. Not calling you sweetheart, I'm just saying in general. Because there is an awakening, but so much of it is only on Israel. And that's good to have the awakening, but man, folks have become one-trick ponies. Well, not me. You're going to get it all. And if I forget to say something, you can call in.
So, Alex Jones is tired of hearing about Israel. I'm a one-trick pony.
Alex Jones somehow is operating, and he has lost $1.2 billion on this dadgum Sandy.
No, he hadn't lost. I think he's just being ordered to pay the equivalent of.
Yes, that's some serious cash, brother.
Yeah, I don't know how any of that works because you listened to him.
Let's say he pays $100 million a year. He's got to be making how much?
I don't have any idea.
I mean, see, they're only going to take a percentage of it. They're not taking it all. So I mean, he's got to be making some serious jack in order. Because he certainly doesn't have $1.6 billion or $1.2 billion worth of assets.
No.
So I mean, that's impressive to me alone, and he might have been right on this whole situation. See, I mean, and still loses. Does that tell you the power you're dealing with?
Oh yeah.
Just because you lose doesn't mean that you were wrong. A lot of times it's just stolen from you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, trust me when I tell you, a lot of people get rich off the backs of others.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah, I don't know how InfoWars is still afloat. It's either that they just over-exaggerate the attacks they're under, which I don't think. They're probably under attacks. Or he's
got a court order to pay.
Yeah, or he just has so many different revenue streams or move the money to this business. Because, it's like you got InfoWarsStore.com and InfoWars.com where a lot of the traffic, a lot of the money, but then he's also got these other websites where he has clones of his products, but it's under his dad's name. Things like that. So
obviously, you can do a whole lot of things with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how any of that works.
But still, at some point, he's paying a X amount of dollars every year, and that's not $10,000.
No.
Okay. So they're taking a percentage of that revenue, and that revenue is staggering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how long has he been on the air? 25 years?
Probably. Maybe 30.
Okay. So, I mean, he was in this business. He is a dadgum dinosaur in this business.
Yeah.
And he's making some serious jack to have that and still be on air. And
he said they're going to fly planes in the World Trade Center 6 months before it happened.
You told me.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
you see, I did, again, Fee's new. I had no idea who he was.
If you had happened to hear him say that and you believed him, think about the difference that would have made in your own business life. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have signed that 6 month, whatever, hold this, hold that.
Well, that's part of it. If you sell to a private company, sells to a publicly traded company, you're going to have some piggyback restrictions because they don't want you to dump the stock the next day. It would hurt the stock price. So,
yeah, which they do all the time with cryptocurrencies.
Now, again, I'm not familiar with cryptocurrencies.
Well, they call them pumping. They call them pump and dumps, where it's like, you get everyone so excited about this one coin, and so it starts shooting up, and then 5 or 6 or 7 of the people who own a large part of it are like, pull that rug out, baby. Or like even celebrities get accused of it where they'll push their own cryptocurrency that they've minted. They own a whole bunch of it. Get all these plebs, idiot followers to start supporting it, and then, oh no, a whale who owned a majority of it just went ahead and dumped it. Oh no, now it's all worthless.
It's the same thing they do in the stock market with the IPO. All the profits built in. If they have an initial public offering at 16, trust me, they've got $12 already built in. And when they zoom it up to 80, those folks are dumping it right then.
Oh yeah.
And then it goes back down to 25, and that's where now everybody else gets involved. But they make their money on the front end. It's guaranteed. They're printing the money in the basements, and everybody else is trying to get to the penthouse.
That's right. Now, let's move on to our next video, because we're going to probably close here pretty soon. But, AJ talked about wanting to, talk about the digital ID. Well, I want Phee to talk about this digital ID, but here's a video. David Icke, popular conspiracy theorist, truther. He's a little too new agey for me, but go into the digital ID.
This is the door closing that's not intended to be opened again. And the idea is everything you do, everything eventually, you will need a digital ID. And your digital ID will be connected to a digital currency. If you want to see what's planned for the West tomorrow, then look at China today, where if you are not behaving in a way that the government wants you to behave, then you lose credits in their social credit system. And if you lose enough, you can't go on a plane, you can't go on a train, basically take part in mainstream society. You are excluded. This is a global agenda. This is not about Keir Starmer, he's a gopher. It's not about Donald Trump, he's a gopher. And they're gophers for this global network that I call the global cult. And the idea is to eventually have a world government which won't be elected, purely appointed, technocrats, bureaucrats, that will oversee this AI digital system. And you won't be able to go anywhere in the world without this system is tracking you. Here we are now looking at this line in the sand, and if we allow it to be crossed, it's going to be very, very difficult to push back. And that's why it's so vital that the people of, this country, but all countries, realize the scale of freedom deletion this digital ID is a massive step towards and fundamental to the deletion of freedom.
Folks, it's coming. Whether that actually is this system of the beast or just a prototype or a foreshadowing of it, I'm not sure yet.
It is already happening. It is already the central banks, the world banks, the digital currency. Digital currency, 90% of all currency now is digital.
CBDCs.
So you're looking at, and every country except the United States and Israel is going to be under that one world government, and Jordan will be under that one world government and one world religion. And they've already got all the technology they need to do it. Okay? They have it. So the digital ID, they're already doing it in Australia. They're doing it in United Kingdom, Denmark, Sweden. So you're Norway. So it's just going to continue to go, and the European countries will be leading. But China's already got an effect. If you hadn't seen videos with China's kids going to class, to school, they've got a facial recognition, and they go, and their parents are notified of all that they do. And also, when it comes right down to it, you've got to look at the social credit score as a real thing.
Yeah, we're already going to start at the bottom, me and Phee.
No. Well, our carbon footprint's next to nothing.
I'm not talking about our carbon footprint. I'm talking about our opinions and thoughts that are already on the internet. It's not about just your carbon footprint. It goes so far as to, hey, if you're saying negative things about the government, you lose points. If I'm friends and have associations with you, and you say negative things about the government, that's why
I don't have any friends.
Well, no, but I'm just simply saying in China, it's actually like if you associate yourself with people who do those types of things, it affects your score. So it's a natural discriminate.
It's
just
mentally conditioning a herd mentality.
Well, yeah, like, hey, I really love Phee, but he said something stupid. Now he lost points, and if I go have lunch with him, it's going to reflect my score negatively, which in China affects your ability to get loans, affects your ability for public transportation. It affects priority lists, like I said, for loans or for good things in the government. It's already there. It's already happening.
Absolutely. And it's going to go worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to go worldwide after World War III, the Sixth Trumpet War.
Yeah.
That kills a third of mankind. And everybody's going to say, we can't let this happen again. We just can't. We've got to get this. We got to be one world. We cannot fight each other. Or they'll do what you say. It'll be
aliens.
Aliens coming in, and then we, just go right to the.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was just a little dash of it all.
Of it all, yeah.
Yeah. Like you're going to have the whole alien thing going on at the same time. That World War III is happening, and then they're going to use it all, man.
I think they'll probably use the aliens to kill a lot of folks.
I'd be okay with that.
You would?
It'd just be demons killing folks or directed energy weapons that they're lying and saying it's the aliens, I mean, I'd be okay with it if I'm not a part of it.
Oh,
is all I'm saying.
All right.
If I'm not a part of it,
if it's on the other part of the world.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's in China.
It will be
in China or something, or not here or India.
China's not in the end times. They're going to be. Russia's definitely. They're going to survive World War III, and Iran. Iran's Persia, and you got Ezekiel with Gog and Magog is Russia.
Mm-hmm.
But they ain't the red dragon is Satan. It ain't China. So
but let me ask you this: how come you attribute all these animals to other nations, like the lions, England, the bears, Russia? If it says eagle, it means America. But if it says red dragon, that just has to mean Satan and not China.
A lot of people
where are you differing that?
A lot of people think that's duality, meaning that it's China and Satan, but it's not.
But where do you make the distinction where when the Bible says one animal, it either means Satan or a country, when all the rest of the times it refers to countries?
Well, again, I don't know.
Okay. I just was wondering.
I don't know why God didn't make the red dragon China. He made the dragon Satan, and he's trying to. If you go to Revelations, the dragon, which is Satan, is trying to kill Jesus when he's born.
Yeah, but that already happened.
Yep. So when Jesus comes back, he's coming back as a warrior. The Jews missed him the first time because they were looking for a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
And he came as a servant and a man, as a baby. And then they say, oh, that's Mary and Joseph's boy. Oh, he was a carpenter. Oh, yeah, he ain't no Messiah. Mm. See, familiarity dilutes greatness.
Yeah, 100%.
You're not going to be a prophet in your hometown because they see you at the convenience store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they see you buying your cigarettes and your...
There you go.
Your
That's
I don't know, your 40 ounce.
Every sin that you committed from the time you were in elementary school all the way down.
Yeah, or it's like, I changed that guy's diaper.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, familiarity dilutes greatness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so they won't miss him the second time.
I don't think they're going to have the option.
And I promise you this, they won't be but a remnant of them saved, and you'll be happy.
Yeah, because that's Scripture being fulfilled.
Absolutely.
Anyways, folks, we've about exhausted everything we could talk about. So, hope you guys enjoyed our episode. We went a little long, and that's because we just love chit-chatting, love talking, having a good time.
The Phee Smee Show with Manly Mark is back in the saddle.
Yes,
I can tell
we'll be back a whole lot more often than we have been.
If Manly shows up, you need to stay tuned because the gentleman has some wisdom for you.
I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt at the very least.
Thank you, guys.
Don't forget to. Who's closing this, me or you? Because I got a plug. Okay, well, then you go ahead and plug.
Go ahead, Mark.
Don't forget to tune in tonight at 9 p.m. for Night with Phee. He's going to be talking relationship skills, sports ball drills, business deals. If you want to hear Phee Smee give his infinite wisdom, he's lived a long life, has plenty of experience in all those areas, sports, business, relationships. He's getting into it, and he's always talking prophecy too.
Rip Van Winkle, baby.
Van Dinkle, Winkle Dinkle. Got to take a tinkle. Anyways, guys, God bless you, and we look forward to seeing you next time. I'm going to let it sit for a second.